Hi, Hamza, are you there?
Hey, Parker, how are you, man?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you so much for joining. Really excited to have
Oh,
you
no, my
here.
pleasure. Can you hear me fine, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you great. Everyone, will you give us some thumbs
Awesome.
up, fists in the air, to let us know that you can hear us? Perfect. Looks like we're good to go. Yeah, well, thanks again for joining, man. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome to see Polygon emerge as like the sort of premier um, Ethereum aligned scaling solution for the industry. It's something that we all need, and you guys have solved a ton of problems within the space. That it just generally is not an easy thing to do to sort of bootstrap another Ethereum network from the ground up. And so yeah, just wanted to kind of start off by learning more about you and your background story, um, and then dive into Polygon, and your journey from Matic POS, to Polygon now as the sort of internet of Ethereum blockchains. And then yeah, I would love to dive into the Matic token, and then generally discuss your role in the Polygon DeFi ecosystem and how that's grown. So, um, yeah, just to start off, how'd you get into crypto?
Thanks, man. Thanks for the intro. I think so. Yeah, like Polygon is a start with Polygon. So Polygon is a Ethereum scaling solution. We have two solutions as of today. One is the Plasma chain, which was started in 2017ish, 18 2018. Our founders were part of the core Plasma research group. JD Jayanti, you may have seen him on Twitter with the code geass and avatar. But yeah, he was part of the Plasma research group, and slowly we moved to a POS network because Plasma had the skill. The compatibility issues with it was something similar to OpenSea rollups. What is today? Not a lot of people know what Plasma is, but there were issues with EVM compatibility and 7-day withdrawal period, fraud things, all of that. So we moved to a POS network, a separate POS network. But how our network is architected is in a sense that we have our validators on Ethereum L1, so that way we share some part of the security. But yeah, maybe we can talk about it later. So I take care of. I joined Matic earlier this year, I think in January, when we. I remember the first week when I joined, our TVL was about 50 million, about 100 million, I would say, like less than 100 million. And Quickshop was the biggest DEX and all of those things. Like they were very minute. And today, we are about, like, I don't know. We hit 8 billion when everything was peak. We hit 8 billion. Right now, we have about 5.5 billion of TVL and all of that. So I take care of all DeFi, all of the DeFi activities here at Polygon. So yeah, happy to join, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how did you sort of get into crypto? I'd love to hear about your journey, and when you sort of discovered it, and when you decided to make the move to working full time in the space.
Yeah, there's a funny story. Like, so I started in 2017, like the first bull cycle, like not the first, but the first big bull cycle. In 2017, I was in college back then. So I did mechanical engineering from India, like one of the top institutes here in India. So I did my mechanical. In my final year, I heard of Bitcoin. I was in Dubai actually, visiting family and stuff. So I heard Bitcoin there for the first time. I remember it was 5,000K when I first bought some with some pocket money. But yeah, like I was just generally got interested in Ethereum actually back then. But after the bubble popped, ICO, all of that, bubble popped, I lost touch, which admittedly was probably one of the biggest mistakes. Should not have lost touch of crypto, because that is when the innovation happened, DeFi happened, and I got back into crypto, I think last year in September. uh, I remember I again, like Ethereum was still early in a, not early, but yeah, DeFi, the summer had just ended, and certain things like Uniswap was still very small, and Sushi was just getting started. So yeah, I started in September in like my personal, like just playing around on Ethereum. Yeah, and then I think for like I'm not a whale or anything. I'm very like small. I started very small, so the Ethereum gas prices were killing me. So like I remember I did my first transaction for like 200 $300, and the gas price was $50, and I was like, what the hell, this is not sustainable. And that's when I got to know about Polygon, Matic. I was like, I was actually part of a hackathon where so we sponsor like pretty much all of the hackathons. Anyone building, we are more than happy to help and sponsor and promote their projects. So that's how I got to know about Matic, and I got to know about the fees and what sort of scaling it does, and that's how like they were actively hiring, and that's how like someone who's just trading shitcoins got into DeFi, and yeah, that's the journey has been pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about last September, it was like we came off this massive initial growth cycle in DeFi from basically zero to billions of dollars, and and now today that's grown even a few more orders of magnitude until in terms of usage, and a lot of that's been driven by Polygon, especially recently. So when you first got to Polygon and started working there, you said the total value locked it effectively has increased about 80x, well, which is insane. Um, what do you attribute that? What do you attribute that to?
I think the main thing I would say is we started when we started. I mean, Quickstop was very small, or these were very small, and we understood one thing for sure, that in DeFi, TVL is like a second order metric. That is just a byproduct of what you do. The first order metric is community, and what sort of people, builders, uh, even degens, right? Even DeFi degens, apes, whoever, whatever community you might want to define. I think the first order metric is community. And the when we started with Aave, I think that was the floodgates that opened everything with Aave. With so we could have, to be honest, like we could have like some other competitors, we could have just forked them out and build. That was the easy part. We could have, without any liquidity mining, without anything, we could have controlled these projects, but the community would not have been the same. The quality of projects, the founders, the people, the caliber would not have been the same. The vision would not have been the same. So that was a very fundamental philosophical difference between us and some of the other so-called competitors or whatever. So I think community was the most important thing, and developer focus. Also, like we have even before many other things. So we have, Infura, we have Alchemy, Etherscan, all of these things, right? So Etherscan, of course, made it very easy, but Infura and Alchemy, we are the first, probably one of the first in the whole space chains to have support after Ethereum, especially Alchemy, I think. Yeah, so that is very important, I think. Also I think our bridge, I would say, the infrastructure is like, so to till date, I mean, touch wood, but till date there hasn't been any malicious. I mean, no one has lost funds basically on the bridge, which is a pretty remarkable thing that our tech team, our infrastructure team has built. But yeah, I think these some 4 or 5 attributes have really helped. Yeah, can't pinpoint anything one. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, back when you started, Polygon was still Matic. Um, POS basically with Plasma, and then you sort of it's really sort of opened that vision up from a commit chain, and bridging system with Plasma to now sort of Internet of Ethereum blockchains. Can you explain what that means, and what this move from Matic, the sort of vision there for it, and the roadmap with it?
Yeah. Sure. So I think so. Matic, was primarily associated with Plasma and POS, right? So Plasma, mainly Plasma, because we were one of the earliest teams to have a production ready chain. Augur, until very recently, Augur was deployed on Plasma. Very recently, they moved to POS. Anyways, but our plans, when we merged with two teams, the idea was, for expansion of plans, you can check out our white paper, Polygon white paper. So the idea there is, because Ethereum, so we always have had this one thing that, Ethereum is that one chain, and all of these blockchains will be built somehow around these chains. So either it will be a layer two, a side chain, a commit chain. Somehow or the other, it has to be committed to Ethereum because of the network effects that Ethereum has. So which is very, and we are seeing that slowly and steadily today, that multi-chain world is becoming. So a lot of these bridges have come up. When we started, like in February, none of these were there. So these things have come up. So the idea there is, with Polygon, the idea became, you can build your own chain, which is pretty pretty powerful, I would say, because Web3 is a big, not just DeFi. DeFi is of course big, but Web3, like betting, prediction markets, social media on chain, a lot of these creator tokens, creator coins, these things have a massive retail audience, as we have seen with certain examples like BitClout and yeah, something like that. So they actually Infinity, yeah. So they have these. They require certain. I mean, I would say less security aspects compared to a DeFi. And for them to scale, it does not make sense to have all of these on the same chain. And that's how a Polygon SDK allows you to SDK, which is part of the Polygon system. So you can build your own sidechain. You can or even you can run your own validators. So that is your enterprise sidechains. A couple of teams are doing that. A couple of big blue chip companies are actually doing that. Sportex, which is another sports prediction platform, is using a sidechain from the SDK to scale their TPS and all of that. So yeah, we that is one very important feature of Polygon, which is the Polygon SDK. As well as we are actively working, and sometime very soon we'll launch these ZK solutions, part of some ZK solutions as well, which will be important to we understand, layer twos are the future, and on the ZK side, I think something will be happening soon, as well as data availability, which is even bigger. Like if Ethereum has to scale all these ZK or even optimistic rollups, they will fight for that Ethereum block space. So there has to be a data availability layer in between. So yeah, these 3-4 things, I think expansion of vision, I would say, is the main thing that we went with Polygon. The rebranding, I mean.
Yeah, and there's been a sort of massive move from, in terms of the Ethereum ecosystem has been searching for a while for a solution that they can go to that doesn't sort of compromise, the Ethereum alignment, while enabling, fast and affordable transactions. And that's really sort of, our move at Telcoin. We're Ethereum native. We think Ethereum is the sort of settlement network for the alternative financial system of the future that we want to be a part of and contribute to in some small way. And just a quick note, guys. We're also using the Polygon SDK to launch our side chain, called Rivendell, where mobile network operators are the exclusive validator set, and the Polygon team has been incredible in helping us get to where we need to be in terms of building that out and inserting our own validators and sets of rules. Um, so the Polygon DeFi ecosystem, really has flourished. Can you talk about the sort of beginnings of that with QuickSwap, and then where it is today, and how it's grown so well or fast?
Yeah, I think it's been, like I said, the community played a very important part. I think Quickswap, when I started, like I said, it was barely, I think, 50 million. But I think Aave, once it launched, even before Aave, to be honest, like we had started a massive BD campaign, as well as, like, because to be honest, like even before that, Ethereum gas fees were high. I remember it was 120, 150. Yeah, even before, like when Bitcoin was, I think, 50K, something around that. I remember it was 150k, 150,000, $150 for a transaction on Uniswap. So ideally, a lot of projects were coming in even before Aave. Small projects were coming in into Polygon, but so DeFi, is all about composability, which no other, I mean, other than Ethereum, to be honest. I mean, BSC has its whole universe, but other than Ethereum, there has been no chain, no chain who has had all of the money Legos. These are money Legos like lending, borrowing, markets, big decks, margin trading, what not, synthetics, derivatives. These things are ideally what constitutes. So there is also very soon a under collateralized lending platform solely. I mean, it will be one of the first. Actually, it will be the first in all of DeFi, and it will be launching on Polygon. It will be starting off with Polygon. So these things are important. So composability is very important in DeFi. And when you have something like Aave, Curve, and Sushi to start off, then everything can be built on top of them. So they have this massive communities of people. They already have big connections. So like for instance, if we have Curve, you can have multiple pools inside of Curve, right? So Ren BTC, BTC, and now we had Try Crypto pools. We'll be also having Frax pools there. Then similarly with Sushi, right? So I mean, Maki and the team, and they have such a vibrant grassroots community. So half of the job was easy from our side because they already had so many connections that they could bring in and have incentivized pools on top of Polygon, which is pretty important. So a lot of things like Badger came in. Badger is coming in. Then DHedge. I mean, not all DHedge will be launching these portfolio management. I mean, permissionless portfolio management protocols. So this is how you build a DeFi. We did some research also. To be honest, like we looked at many other chains and why they did not truly kick off. I think it's all about composability. People honestly don't like retail and users don't really care about scalability. To be honest, they just want like low gas. They don't understand what goes into scalability, and that is what BSC showed. Other these chains showed us that you have to have everything in one platform, and that's it. And that's what the DeFi system is here, and we are creating another phase two actually of DeFi. I don't want to leak too much, but yeah, it will be more. So community will have a lot of power. We will be decentralizing all of these decisions that we have been taking as a protocol to the community and to the certain members, important members of the community. So very soon. So yeah, like I think that's what like I think builds a good DeFi ecosystem.
Yeah, and this idea that I think has been so sort of revolutionary in terms of the way that I view product design in DeFi, and why it's something that is just incredible. Is this, there's two things there. I mean, there's a lot, but two really important points. The first one, guys, if you're not familiar with composability, it's basically this idea that if you think about going and trying to build a financial app using the traditional banking system, there's no write access, right? Like everything is read access. Their APIs, require permission to build on any sort of banking system or financial app. And so basically everything in the traditional financial world is sort of siloed into its own little liquidity pool of assets, and so you can't, when you think about trying to build an app where in one click you can both do things like lend and swap and send, that's incredibly difficult, if not impossible, with the legacy financial system. Whereas in DeFi you can do that without asking permission, and you can basically build these applications that are what I would consider full stack, and effectively can do things in multiple functions in one transaction that are just simply not possible. And so it's you virtually, if you're a legacy system provider, have to effectively enable anyone to, in a permissionless way, build on top of your system, and that requires like restructuring the global financial system, and so here we're building a new one that's open and permissionless, and that everyone has right access and requires no permission from anyone to do that, to build applications that are just far superior in structure than legacy. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I can imagine, like, once you start to see things like Aave and Sushi Swap and Quick Swap really start to form, there's this sort of escape velocity where you start being able to build any infinite number of applications on these protocols. And now, now everyone's kind of moving to try and build those systems. Um, I think another area that's important to note, because this is just a question that people ask, like, why did we move over to Polygon, is that just generally, I mean, they've been doing this for a long time, since 2018, 19, and like it is really hard to build an ecosystem of infrastructure and tooling in order to build an application that works well. And so, when we sort of were reviewing the various scaling solutions for Telcoin, because if you have $100 transaction fee, that just doesn't work for us, because I mean, our mission statement is to bring fast and affordable user-owned financial products to everyone in the world. So it effectively wasn't possible, and we realized very quickly that Polygon checked all the boxes and was going to continue to grow that. And we'll kind of see how other layer two systems sort of evolve in terms of their ecosystems and their infrastructure tooling and their DeFi platforms. But today it's pretty clear that Polygon is the leader in that, and that's indicative by looking at the numbers alone. Can you tell us about the usage numbers and growth, and like, I know we've briefly touched on it, but like, what are you all seeing in terms of new users, and where that was when you started, and the number of transactions, and maybe like how large those are too?
Sure. So I remember. So there was this Nansen article, which said that once. So when I think April, yeah, April, when everything started, 5% of 1 million plus wallets were there on Polygon. So essentially, all of the wallets on Polygon, only 5% had 1 million plus, which essentially means whales were away from Polygon, like big ticket transactions were away from Polygon. Slowly, right now, if I remember earlier this month, I checked, it was about 65%. So that is one thing, which shows, like big players are also trusting the security, trusting the what do you call, the bridge and all of those things. Secondly, one thing we notice is user transactions. So DAU, like mainly DAU, daily active users. We flipped BSE some time back, and we are still doing more. Daily active users are interacting with the Polygon system today. This includes not just DeFi. This includes everything. But yeah, I think I would assume majority of it is DeFi. On Ethereum, an average wallet does 2 to 3 transactions per day. An average like this on Aave or Sushi. Over here, people are doing like 20 transactions, 20 25 transactions per day on these big projects. It's because it's so seamless. It's gasless, it's seamless. There's composability, and that was the vision of DeFi for all. So yeah, I think these couple of things plus wallets. I think we also have to start tracking that, to be honest. Coinbase Trust Wallet will go live very soon. Very soon. Coinbase is there. Huobi Wallet is there. Huobi Wallet will also go live. Then yeah, I think these big ones. Uh, so yeah, this will again bring in a lot of users onto Polygon.
Awesome. So could you give us a little insight into the Matic token and the usage of the Matic token today, as an asset native to the Polygon network, and maybe the sort of vision for the asset in the
Hello.
future? Hey, are you there? Hamza, are you there? Hello? Looks like we have some technical difficulties. Hamza, can you hear me? Hamza, can you hear me? Hmm. Looks like we've lost him for a second here. Um,
Hey Parker, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me as well? Hmm. Hamza, come in. One second, everyone. Looks like we're having some connection issues. Can you all hear me? Great. Let's see here. Hi, Hamza, are you there?
Yeah.
Great. Um, so, yeah, I can hear you. So the next question I had for you was just generally about the Matic token. What's the usage and purpose of it today? Um, and how do you see that it evolving in the future?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
The,
Okay.
the, did you hear the question?
Yeah. Matic token utility, right?
Yep, and just sort of what the future is for that as well, and how it'll evolve.
For sure. So right now, Matic, of course, is the POS staking security solution. So security token. So you essentially secure Matic. It's a yield bearing token. You can put it on the POS network as well as POS network and get it's about 14% yield on the token. So yes, that is one utility. That is the network security. Secondly is of course is it's the utility in the sense that it pays gas on the Matic network, which is again a very important tool. Thirdly, very soon, like I mentioned, a lot of governance will be put onto the Matic token. Governance abilities which are not currently there will be provided on the Matic. So we are setting up a council slash DAO for to allow these Matic tokens, and I put a governance thing on part of the Matic token as well, enhance utility. So yeah, that should be done very soon. uh, also you so we are working with Lido. For those who don't know what Lido is a liquid staking platform. So essentially you can put Matic on the POS network with certain validators. You get a STmatic is a stake Matic, and you can use that stake Matic in the Polygon DeFi system. Yeah, essentially you get a derivative of that, so that again enhance the security of the chain as well as give more utility to the Matic token. So yeah, mainly governance, but yeah, soon some things will be happening on the governance side also. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very exciting. So it looks like we have a couple questions here from the community that I'd love to run through. Um, the first one is definitely something that we're actually going through now, in terms of the sort of data indexing on the blockchain via the graph. Um, and how sort of basically quick swap, if you go to the analytics page, is generally behind quite a bit. How do you all what's the sort of issue from a technical perspective there, and how are you all working to solve the analytics on Polygon?
Ye- Yeah, man. I think that's tricky in the sense that because the block times are low, right? So that's tricky. So the graph, the teams, I mean, the quick swap teams are working very closely with the graph right now. I think it's fine, but yes, in between, I think there were issues that were out of sync. I think Sushi was also out of sync. So I'm not entirely sure what particular reason was it? But it's been a general trend. It's been a general trend about that fast blockchains, these graph layers, subgraphs can be out of sync. So yeah, I think it's essentially with the fast blockchains, uh, but 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 I think these streaming services. So I think Graph also are adding some streaming facilities features. Sorry, on top of the normal indexing thing. So I think that should solve the next these problems because they stream data instead of index data. So yeah, I think the main reason, like, yeah, coming back to it, I think the main reason is fast blockchains, and these fast blockchains like Solana, or even Polygon, BSC. So there are issues with the subgraph indexing. So yeah, that will be solved. I think that's more on the graph team to answer. But yeah, the crux of it is, yeah, the fast blockchains.
Yeah, I mean, are you? Polygon is doing pretty much like more transactions daily now than Ethereum is, right?
Oh yeah, we are 7 times, 6 7 times.
7 times. That's incredible. Um, and so it's a layer. The graph is sort of a layer one solution that works well for that, but then 7 times that, and so you come across analytics problems. And it sounds like you all have worked with the graph and to try and boost the productivity around working on Polygon and solving it. And I saw they gave a $60 million grant or something to a project to work on it. So
Yeah,
basically,
that was streaming fast. Yep, that was streaming fast. Yes.
got it. Um, Let's see. So here's a pretty solid question for you. Where do you see the future of Polygon with the release of EIP 1559 and ETH 2.0?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think so. 1559, actually, we will be implementing some of it. I mean, sorry, not some of it. I mean, we will be implementing. Not to be honest, not in our monetary supply. So we are still deciding. To be honest, we're still deciding. But yeah, the consensus mostly is that we there will be certain changes in how the gas fees and how the validators get, generate that revenue. So some of those things will be changed. So 1559 has this base fee plus a tip, right? So we are thinking of what to do with that base tip, because we see 1559. I mean, it's probably one of the biggest things ever happening in Ethereum. So so 1559 will be important, and we have to be compliant with future tooling and all of that. So yeah, most likely we are thinking what to do with the base fee that goes to the validators. Either we burn it, either we keep it in a DAO controlled by users, and that can be used for whatever, like ecosystem growth, for projects, grants, even liquidity mining or whatever. Like it's up to the community to vote and decide that. So we're thinking on those terms, especially with 1559. Then ETH 2.0. So I mean, ETH 2.0. So people, yeah, who are aware of the roadmap. So 15, sorry, ETH 2.0 is half of, like, a part of it is already live, right? So the POS, I mean, will go live very soon with the merge happening. So the merge is one important part of the 1559. Sorry, ETH 2.0 roadmap. The end goal is sharding, but it's still, like, with the growth that DeFi has seen. I mean, the what do I call, like, the product market fit with DeFi has seen, uh, not only DeFi but also NFTs and creator communities and all of these things. We definitely think that right now I think the whole DeFi is about 2 3 million users, not more than that. I think last I checked, it's about 4 million wallets, I think, on Ethereum, which is about 2 million users, and just add 1 million on top with other chains, 1.5 million. So roughly 3.5 million users, which is, I don't know, like, nothing compared to what can be brought in. Uh, so we definitely think there's a lot of room and a lot of scaling solutions in layer twos will be coexisting, because retail will not be paying. So I personally see it as two things, like, in a sense that, Ethereum price has to go, all will always go up. I mean, in the long term, it will go up because, with 1559 and just, being store of value that Ethereum is becoming, ETH is becoming, particularly, which is contradictory in a sense that, gas fees will, I mean, the price paid for gas will also increase with this, no matter how much you scale, right? So, users will come in, gas will go up, price is going up. So there's this rolling effect, which I think is only possible with layer twos. No matter, even if you bring sharding in. So there are a lot of research papers, written by even Georgios, like the Paradigm folks. A lot of, like, I would suggest to read more. But generally, I would think like sharding plus layer twos and scaling is only the way forward for Ethereum to scale.
And that's a very long term, incremental phase approach for ETH too. It's
Yes.
not something that they're just going to ship overnight. I think basically anyone that builds in this space, recognizes that, like, when you're dealing with people's funds and money, you just do those things over long periods of time, incrementally, and improve them rather than try and do massive sweeping moves all at once. And so it'll be interesting to see how ETH2 evolves, and how Polygon evolves as well. Here's this pretty solid question for you. So, how can I interact with regular exchanges while my assets are on Polygon? Would I have to bridge them each time? And do you plan to increase the amount of exchanges with Polygon functionality for deposits and withdrawal direct to the chain?
Oh yes. So yes, yes. Like, so Binance, I think, is, withdrawals are done or deposits are done. I'm not too sure. I haven't been using Binance for a long time, but, I think withdrawals are already supported. Sorry, deposits are already supported. Withdrawals will be done very soon. So I think MXC is already there. Ascendex is there. Again, Binance, once deposits and withdrawals both are live, will be very very big. Who else? I think, couple of others. OKEX. Oh yeah, OKEX was there. OKCoin was there, which supported, mainnet withdrawals, Polygon mainnet withdrawals, which is again pretty big. Uh, I mean, to be honest, I'll tell you the main reason that we haven't seen, uh, such easy integrations, is because Matic is a, I mean, Matic, not WMatic, but Matic is a plasma based token, which requires 7-day withdrawal period. So to maintain that liquidity, right? So in times of a price dump, like today or something, like the May drop that happened. So only big exchanges can, have that surplus liquidity to cater to, right? So that is a tricky thing. I mean, for those who understand this, it will be tricky. That's why we haven't seen small, uh, exchanges, small and mid-sized exchanges, integrate Matic as the withdrawal thing, and that's why we saw Ascendex and these exchanges use USDC. You can withdraw and deposit USDC, directly to Polygon mainnet. So those are some things that we are working on. I think Binance is pretty much on top of it because a lot of people want to come into and out. So that's another revenue source for them. So yeah, they're working on that. OKX, I think, is done. OKX is done. So yeah, I think, no, this we are actively working on more, on ramps from, on ramp and off ramp from exchanges, from centralized exchanges. So yeah, that's a good point. We are working, actively on that. Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's been a lot of just growth there this year, and as the ecosystem grows, they kind of, in a way, won't have a choice but to integrate it because it's they want to be able to enable their users to seamlessly move value between places where they want to use them, and so it sounds like there's been a lot of progress there, and with the largest exchange doing that, that's a big move. Another question was actually in relation to the bridge for Matic, um, and how it's from Polygon to Ethereum. It takes 5 to 7 days. Is that something that you expect to improve over time, or is that a part of the design of the system that can't be changed?
So I'll tell you, like there are two things. So when you say 7 days, right? So it is only in the case of the Matic token, which is the
Mhm.
plasma token. Other than those, any asset which is a POS token, like literally anything other than Matic, is does not take 5 to 7 days. It takes I don't know, like 10 minutes to an hour, something like that. Something like that. So I think that is that the question? Sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't.
it was really kind of in relation to the plasma bridge and how that takes 5 days or so to get back, and if that'll improve over time with Matic tokens.
I don't think, man. To be honest, like we as a security thing, we cannot do that because that is the native asset. So there has to be significant changes in the architecture that I don't think we can do. But having said that, there are projects that are doing. So we hope some project like Hop Protocol. I'm not sure if you have heard, but Hop Protocol can do that in like. Fast exits fast exit of Matic by building an AMM on top of Ethereum to Polygon. So people can put Matic on Ethereum side, put create a liquidity pool basically, ETH Matic and Polygon Matic, and can exit by swapping on that AMM, which is provided by Hop. So something like that could be the solution. Actually, we are working closely with Hop in respect to this. So right now, if you think if you want to move your Matic, there's no other solution. You have to swap your Matic to I don't know, like USDC or ETH or whatever, and then move that ETH WETH basically WETH WETH to from Polygon to Ethereum via the POS bridge, which takes like 15 minutes to 1 hour. So
Fantastic. That's very helpful. And it sounds like these, sort of as the ecosystem builds out, more solutions come in to solve any existing problems, and this, these bridging systems are just going to continue to get better and better as more engineers continue to put resources towards them. And um,
yeah, it's the same. It will be the same problem with optimistic oracles also, right? So they have this 7 day withdrawal period again, and for any pro Ethereum person who believes that optimistic oracles are also a good scaling solution, so people will build around these things around the 7 day withdrawal. So I'm pretty positive around that.
yeah, absolutely. Another question that I came across that I actually was thinking about too is this idea that ETH might, in order to sort of enable users to transact, who are sort of native to Ethereum. Apparently, there may be a move to have ETH taken as a gas token on Polygon for validators. Is that something that is in the works? And could you give us some insight into that?
No, nothing yet. We think no, nothing yet. Like Matic, I mean, in the near future, even in the future, I think Matic will be the gas token as of now. Yeah, and nothing as yet. No works on that.
Sounds good. All right. Well, let's open it up to the community to come on up and ask us any questions if they have them. Guys, you're welcome to join. We're super nice. Just want to help out and explain what we're building and how you can participate. So feel free to request, and I'll let you up. Give them a couple minutes, and if no one shows, then we'll call it. Well, we're not seeing much here, Hamza, in terms of anyone who wants to come up. So, did you have anything that you wanted to share with the community about Polygon generally, or how they can participate? Um, just as a sort of sign off.
Yeah, I think anyone interested in building on top of Polygon and on even like utilities like Dune dashboards or just tooling around QuickSwap or something in general. Like our discords are open. I just chat about like our Polygon advocates will help you out in the right forum. So just put whatever ideas you have. My DMs are open, so I take care. Like I said, I take care of all DeFi activities here at Polygon. So Feel free to ask any question, put on my DM or whatever. If you're building something interesting, we'll be happy to do. We also are doing like grants, uh, Polygon grants, builder grants. So yeah, that's also helpful for to cover dev costs or something like that. So yeah, that's it. Happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, we have one question here actually from Nick Blue Lights, longtime Telcoin community member. So, yeah, let's have him up, and this will be the last question, and then we'll close it up. Yeah, Nick, how are you, man? It's great to see you.
Look, Parker. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing following the journey. Probably speak on behalf of every Telfan person around, you know. Um, but I just got a quick one. I'm not sure how relevant it is, but obviously the synergy between Polygon and Telcoin together. Um, you know, one thing is, might not be able to speak too much on it, but all the users that have got their Telcoin in the Tel app already, obviously that's the ERC20 sort of Telcoin. Is there going to be some sort of automatic bridging system in the app to convert those ourselves, or and also how does going forward with Polygon and Telcoin, how do you see you guys growing in together, sort of tighter and tighter as things go forward?
Sure. Yeah. So you'll be able to migrate if you're an existing Telcoin app user. You'll be able to migrate your funds to Polygon, or choose not to do that at the release of the next app. You control your funds, and so that's really up to you, and what you want to do with them. All of our sort of products will be built on Polygon and V3. The first two being the Send Money Smarter Network, which is a user-owned global remittance platform that's powered by DFX and QuickSwap, and in the future Balancer, and we'll actually be introducing some other different types of primitives as well to power that and enable really interesting remittance applications that simply aren't possible in the legacy world. And then Tel Exchange, that product will also be live on Polygon, and is also in the sort of bootstrapping phase in terms of liquidity. And we're just going to keep shipping and building new products and enabling them, and because of our sort of mission statement, which is to enable regular users, to have fast and affordable user-owned products. Polygon's perfect for that, and so it's really the key purpose for us moving there is that the system works, it's Ethereum aligned, it's secure, and it's fast and affordable with a very large and growing ecosystem of decentralized financial markets that we can use to build user-owned products. So yes, an incredibly exciting place to be building, and that'll continue to evolve. And in fact, we're exploring the Polygon SDK as this sort of as a sort of a way for us to launch Rivendell, and that chain, and so we're very much so aligned with their mission, and the way that they've built their system to be an Ethereum scaling solution and not an Ethereum competitor, and that's kind of how we view our involvement, and how we're building on top of Polygon. So I'm excited to see this relationship thrive, and I think that as we continue to build products and foster a global community of active users, both Polygon users who choose to come use Telcoin because of our great products and our interface and our global on and off ramps, um, and focus on compliance. It'll be exciting to see existing sort of Matic holders and Polygon users come over and participate on the Telcoin platform, as well as Telcoiners do the same with Polygon. We want to build joint communities with all the places, everything that powers the Telcoin platform. Each of those sort of native protocols has its own community and token, and so we want to foster an aligned global community of active users that, in a sense, are part of one larger goal. So I hope that was helpful to your question, Nick.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, as soon as I saw that Telcoin was dabbling with Polygon, I got super excited. I could already see the future happening, and I think that with Telcoin's long list of compliance that's coming in, that could probably help Polygon side as well. Back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're trying to grow the pie here, not and I think that over time it'll be very clear that Telcoin is more than likely the most effective and pragmatic solution to banking the unbanked in the developing world. And Polygon uniquely enables that because, hey, look, we can't have users paying $100 gas fees, but we know that Ethereum is the future and that we want to build on it, and Polygon enables that. So, yeah, I think it's a really powerful combination of product and off ramps and on ramps and integrations that should enable the largest sect of users in the world to come join both of our platforms in a way that's positive sum. So yeah, Nick, thank you so much for joining, and always appreciate your insights and resources that you share with me on Telegram.
No worries, man. Thanks so much again, and we'll always be here supporting you guys.
Absolutely. Hey, well, Hamza, thank you so much for joining, man. It's been a real pleasure. I think I learned a lot. I hope the community did too. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us, and we look forward to continue to building on Polygon. All right, my mic was off. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to be joining Telcoin Theo on Thursday and Cody Kuhn tomorrow on YouTube. I'm going to answer all your questions. Feel free to throw any hardballs that you have at me. I'll do my best to answer them. Obviously, there's questions that aren't publicly available information, but if they are, I'll make sure to thoroughly go through them. I'm excited to continue building the Telcoin community, Telcoin platform, and ecosystem, and we look forward to the future, and we're really excited about this. I think we're very close to sort of fulfilling the beginnings of our mission, which are to bring fast and affordable user-owned financial products to everyone with a mobile phone. You as a community are, we're going to continue to work to empower you and enable you to participate and change the world. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Really appreciate your time, and feel free to reach me at Telcoin Parker on Telegram, P4Cap on Twitter, and definitely tune in to my interview with Cody, an interview with Telcoin Theo. I'm stoked. And if anyone else has a Telcoin channel on any social platform, just give me a buzz and I'll be there. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.